Hello and welcome to this section. In this section, we will learn the content related to the picture sequence. In this section, we mainly include the following 4 knowledge points, which are the common functions of the picture sequence, the use scene of the picture sequence, the basic usage of the picture sequence, and the classroom display of our basic usage of the picture sequence. First of all, we will learn the common feature of the picture sequence. The common feature of the picture sequence includes the following points. First, the picture sequence widget is used to manage and display a set of orderly arranged picture material groups. Second, play in sequence during playback. After several time intervals, remove the picture and display the next or previous picture. Third, if the pictures are connected back and forth and the human eye's visual persistence is used, an effect similar to animation video can be formed. Here we can tell you an additional knowledge point. People can also have a frame rate of 24 frames respectively. Therefore, when your pictures can display 24 pictures per second, the human eye will process it as an animation effect. So what kind of concept will pop up in your mind after looking at these 3 features? It can be used to display a group of orderly picture materials, which can then be used to play, and then use the visual persistence of human eyes to form an effect similar to animation and video. When these 3 concepts are brought together, you will draw a conclusion. The picture sequence is very similar to what we know, that's right. It's our GIF dynamic graph, so our picture sequence is our GIF dynamic graph. What are its characteristics? Let's take a look. First of all, he supports us to use GIF or SEEP format picture package. Our system will automatically disassemble it into a frame-by-frame picture. Secondly, we can redefine the order of pictures and define a playback time for each picture. Third, each picture object widget can add multiple picture sequences, and only one sequence can be played at any time, and we can specify the picture sequence to be played. Next, let's talk about the usage scenarios of the picture sequence. The picture sequence mainly includes the following 2 usage scenarios. The first usage scenario is that the picture sequence can automatically play a group of pictures to achieve an effect of our multi-picture display. The second is to simulate the effect of our video animation. Due to the limitations of our mobile device players, we often experience the use of video widget. While the video quality requirements are not high, and our video is also very short, we can use our picture sequence to replace our video, so as to achieve a more smooth playing effect and a richer one in interactive experience. So how do we use our picture training? The picture sequence mainly includes the following 3 basic uses. The first point is that we add the picture sequence, the second point uses our slide to switch the picture sequence, and the third point plays to a response event after the specific reality. How do we understand its series of basic uses, and the various characteristics of the image sequence we mentioned earlier? Here we will demonstrate 2 cases to help you understand the concept of our picture sequence and master the use of our picture sequence. Then let's start our classroom demonstration. First of all, we make the first application, our rotation chart. First of all, let's take a look at a display effect of the finished product. When I click a button on the right, it can switch to the next picture. In this way, it can switch continuously when I keep clicking. Then, if I click the picture on the left, it can also switch to our previous picture. This is the first case we need to do, which is to simulate an effect of a rotating picture. In order to make such an effect, we can give a UI first. Okay, let's put it aside, and then open our editor. We take a name here, which is our rotation chart. It is convenient for us to make and understand. We can directly select our absolute positioning environment to make a production. Then we click the Create button, and we create an absolute positioning application. Then we first form a good habit, under the front end we add a page, and then we make a series of UI on the page. First, it has a background color. Let's take the background color first. It's such a brown background color. Then, it has the same thing as such a picture in brown. But when we demonstrated just now, we knew that this is a picture that can be freely switched with us, so what is it? Yes, this one in the middle is actually one of our picture sequences. Let's start with the first point. Let's see how we add our image sequence. First, we select our page, and then click such a widget on the right side of the picture, which is our picture sequence widget. We click it. At present, we are in an absolute positioning environment, so we want to draw an area where our rotation map is located. Here, we roughly draw a square here, and then it will prompt us to upload multiple maps, or select a motion map of a GIF, and then click OK here, and then we open the rotation map. How do we add a piece of material? It allows us to upload more soil, so we can make a multiple selection here. We select the first one and click Shift to select the last one. In this way, he will help us upload this piece of material in batch. Let's click 1 to open it, so that he will upload a resource like us. Come here, we can adjust it again. For example, if it has a width and a height, we can adjust it to 200 to make it square and square a little bit. Then we can move it to a position in the middle a little bit. Then we can observe one of its properties. First, the first one is our picture list. When we click on the picture list, we can go to a page in the picture list to view. Here we can preview one of its effects, and we can see that it will have an effect of automatic play here. Then there is a setting for the picture proportion. For example, when you turn on an automatic playback, the picture will have an automatic playback effect. If you want a picture to have a slightly longer duration, you can adjust its duration proportion a little larger. For example, for this picture, you want to have a long-term stay. For example, change the picture proportion to 10. You can see that when it reaches this picture, it obviously accounts for a longer proportion. When it reaches this picture, it will occupy 1/10 of the whole picture, play the market one by one, and then jump to the next picture. So finally, such a picture. What kind of effect does the sequence want? You can set it freely, and then click here to complete an editing. Then there are a series of playback settings. The first point is its total duration, that is, when it broadcasts all the picture sequences, you dare to specify how many markets it will play the whole picture sequence in. The default playback duration is 1500 milliseconds. Of course, it can be automatically modified here. Then there is a button for automatic play. When you check such an automatic play, the picture sequence will have an effect of automatic play, and then we can turn it off. Then there is a circular play effect. If you don't click circular play, it will pause there after playing once, so it's called circular play. To play such an property, we usually tick it, and then slide it to switch the picture, image and effect. Here I can give you a simple demonstration. Here we can change it. For example, when we slide to the left, let it switch to the next picture. What kind of effect will we have here? Here we can preview and have a look. This is our picture sequence, right? Then you can see that when my mouse slides to the left, there will be a switching effect. Of course, if you think the slide just now is too agile, you can adjust the slide speed a little more, for example, 100 pixel beautiful FPX. Let's try it. Then we slide again. We can see that it's not like that just now. We can switch by sliding a little, and the slide here takes a little effort. Basically, we have to slide to the whole screen to have such an effect. Then, we will supplement one of its UI. There is a symbol of the previous page on the left and a symbol of the next page on the right, so we will supplement its UI. The two here are actually two pictures, which can be adjusted slightly. I think this should be more appropriate. Let's copy and paste one directly, of course after that, throw the other one below, and then move it to its right. We will replace its material with a right arrow, which can be adjusted again. Then the next step is how can we make him switch when clicking? Have we talked about it before in Event? In fact, we have a lot of such widget. We don't need to fully master some of its usage. We can go to see his event in widget. So here I am teach you how to view. Let's select our page and let's click on one of our picture sequences. When it hovers, we can see it has an action. What action? What do you mean by the next picture and the last picture? Is the action the series of actions that we trigger to respond to under the event? So we can do such a switching effect next. How do we switch? When this picture is clicked, let the picture sequence switch to the next picture, right? So we add an event for such an image. When it is clicked, who should be selected? What action should our image sequence perform? Have we just seen the action there? It is the next such action that let us select our next one, so as to complete our setting for an event of the arrow on the right. Similarly, the arrow on the left also sets an event. When it is clicked, let the image sequence execute an event, that is, jump to the previous image, and let's preview an effect again. I click it to see that every time I click it, I will switch a picture accordingly, so that we can have a simple rotation picture. In the same way, we add gesture control, so you can directly slide on the picture to have a switching effect, so we have completed the first application, a production of our rotation chart. Then let's take a look at an effect of our second case. We can see that this is a continuous rotation. One is right. This is not a video. This is our GIF diagram, but its frame rate is relatively high, so it looks like a video. Then, the most important thing for us to achieve this effect is that when our fingers press, it will pause the playback, and then when our fingers release again, we can see that it continues to play again, so it is a very cool effect of a constant sequence of commodity display. How to do this is actually more simple. We can directly do it with this case. We can rebuild a page, and then we upload a picture sequence in the middle of the page, and then select this side to add one of our picture sequences. Then we also need to select one of our multiple pictures, pass it on. We click Shift from the first chapter to the last chapter to make a multi-selection, and then click Open. It will automatically upload a material of such a resource, and then we can slightly adjust its width and height. Then we add another event. What event? Just when his finger left, why let us play such a picture sequence? Okay, we can take a look at an effect. When I press my finger and pause my finger to leave, he continues to play. You can notice that the content we learned in this class is very simple. Simply upload a picture sequence of it, and you can achieve a very cool effect. And then through these two cases, you already know how to add our picture sequence, and use the slide to switch one of our picture sequences. But there is another thing here, is to play a response event after a specific real event. How can we do this event? Here is a simple demonstration for you. Let's go back to such a picture sequence. We add another event in the event here. Click an event plus sign here. What is the name of the trigger event? When we play to a certain frame, what kind of event should we add here? For example, when we play to a certain frame, we suddenly pause him, and then the following text is called heartbeat instead of action. So we first add a simple text on the page, which is called by quickly, and simply make a UI, then it is hidden, and when it plays to a certain frame, it will naturally help us pause an effect and show our come and buy it. Let's take a look at its frame list. It has a total rate of 26 frames, so let's just let it pause when it plays to the last frame. So here we continue to add our event. Here we have selected to play to a certain frame, but it is now a certain frame, that is, it is possible for each frame to trigger such an event. So here we add a condition limit. Because it has a special trigger event, it has a correlation parameter in the drop-down menu. What are the association parameters for? It is a real serial number, so when its frame number is equal to 26, what event will be triggered? Let's pause a watch like this, and let's buy it quickly for a display. Let's take a look at an effect here. We can see that he has turned around, stopped here, and told us to buy it quickly. Then we can trigger an effect of the same effect by clicking on event. Is it really cool? So, if we want to play to a frame, we must use one of its associated parameters, that is, our frame sequence number, to make a specific restriction. That's all the content of this section. Thank you for watching.